Hi, and welcome to Mayhem with Markham. So, I've got some tired eyes because I spent about 3 hours at the vet last night with my dog because she decided to eat batteries, little button cell batteries. That was part of my mayhem last night. I didn't get a chance to film it, and I wouldn't want anybody to have to go through that. It was pretty emotional seeing your dog. Pretty happy at first, but after they put her through all of the processes and procedures, not too thrilled with the outcome there. So the good news is that she's good. So that's a bonus. So I took today off from work because I ended up sleeping in extra, and came across a project. This one I have no idea about. This one I'm very likely to fail on, but it's okay. I don't fail a lot, but whenever I do, I try to learn from it. Okay, got a saying: you always learn the most from your failures. So what I've got here is, we'll scroll around here. So that is a 27-inch Apple iMac. This was a computer that my wife bought off of a coworker, and it had some issues. It's got some video card troubles where, part of the screen, if we look at it here, I'll just kind of bring you guys in and show you. So part of the screen over here is kind of blurring up. And I was like, well, I could probably replace that. Replace the graphics card, maybe see what the video cable looks like. So I came to fire it up just to kind of see what was going on with it. I did look up the serial number on these computers. The serial number's on the bottom. You run the serial number through Apple's database, and it tells you exactly what you have. So that's kind of awesome. This is a 2012 model, but still pretty awesome machine, really. So it's worth repairing, I think. So after I tried to get it fired up, it wouldn't find the operating system. Well, I did a few little things, and then come to find out, whenever I go to try to locate a disk to choose the startup disk, there's nothing listed here. So what I'm thinking is that it just can't see the hard drive. So typically what you do whenever something can't see something else, you see if it's plugged in. Pretty basic. However, on these, it's a bit more difficult than that because you have to actually pull the screen off to get at it. So that's what we're gonna do. I've got a couple of suction cups, and we're gonna see how bad it is to pull one of these apart. So hang on for the ride and the mayhem. Alrighty, so first thing that we're going to do, we'll go ahead and get this unit powered off. Now I've hooked up a Windows keyboard and a Windows mouse. You can use these in these computers. The old versions you couldn't, but in these you can. The wireless stuff only works after the operating system's all up. So we'll go ahead and just tell it to shut down. Okay, I'll unplug it out of the wall. All right, unplug our cables for our makeshift mouse and keyboard, and then we'll lay it down. So they say when you're working on it, lay it down like this, and then supposedly it lifts off. Okay, so microphone troubles again. Hang on. Okay, so obviously I was eventually able to get it open. It was pretty challenging. They seal these things up pretty well. I'll go over in detail what it looks like. Each model is different though. So you really need to go online and figure out what they did on your particular year if this is something that you're working on. The 2012, they did adhesive tape all the way around. So all the way around here has adhesive tape. Obviously, this thing is really really dirty. I went ahead and ordered the hard drive upgrade, which is going to replace the Seagate 1 terabyte drive with an SSD drive. That'll help with the speed, and hopefully it'll actually connect up like it should. So in order to disconnect or to take this one out because of the adhesive, you saw me earlier trying to use the suction cups. Well, the suction cups only work on the ones that have glass and the magnets. So if you have that model, then you just take and you pull away really hard on the glass, and it's all magnetized and it'll all come off. Now the thing about that is that because it's the screen and the glass is separate, if you get any sort of dust in there, that's bad because then it's going to show up on your screen. This one actually has an integrated glass and screen. It's all one piece, so it all comes out. But the trick part about it is that these are little antennas and you don't want to mess them up. So you want to make sure that you get a razor knife or some opening tool that's about 3/8 of an inch. So that's right at about 3/8 of an inch. And then I went in and just kind of cut all the way around this area here. Okay. So after I did that, it was just a matter of disconnecting two cables. There's one here that connects here. You just disconnect it by lifting up on this ribbon cable, and then it comes right out. And this one right here connects right here. You can see the trace where it goes on this speaker. And I just grabbed it on the sides, pushed in, and pulled out, and it was able to come right out. So I think next what I'm going to do is go further into disassembly of this, because I want to make sure that I get everything good and clean before I put it back together. And I want to check, I think that the GPU part, which is this cable here, I think it hooks somewhere here. So I'm going to check that out. I'm going to just go through and start disassembling here and cleaning up. I'll probably take a vacuum all of the bits out before I get started, and then yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. So I'll go grab my vacuum cleaner, get set up, and then we'll start. Alrighty, so I've done quite a bit of research on this thing, and I contemplated taking the whole thing apart, but there's actually quite a bit that's going on here. Let's identify some of the parts. So this is the main cooling fan, cooling duct. Here's the hard drive. Those of you that are familiar with regular PCs, you'll easily recognize that. So hard drive, there's the left speaker, here's the right speaker. This right here is the power supply. So this now makes sense why this is here. This is kind of to help block the heat from the power supply. It's here. And then this is the main logic board. So on the main logic board, you've got a CPU and a GPU. It's all integrated graphics. So instead of having a separate graphics card, here the chip is actually integrated. You can replace the chips, but I don't think I want to go that far into this computer just yet. I might change my mind. I haven't made up my mind yet. So the major problem that we've had with this computer is that it didn't connect with the hard drive. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. and this quadrant of the screen was kind of jittery. So yeah, I don't know just exactly how far I want to go into it. But first things first, what I want to do is go ahead and separate the screen from the bottom. Now this is all VHB tape here, so I should just be able to separate it. I used a bit more force on that. And there it goes. Separating away. Alright, so I'm going to take this screen and set him off to the side. Whenever I go to put the screen back on, I'll have to go around all the edges and clean all the adhesive. I've already got the upgrade coming for that. So, per instructions, it says to remove the speaker, so we'll pull the screws. There's that. Now, there are a couple of connectors here. There's one that's right here. Okay, this one has to be fished up and around, like so. And this separates out with a moderate amount of force, they say. And then I believe one of these is the power button. Okay, so there's the power button there. It runs along this channel. Okay, and that power button is actually what was hooked up there. All right, I'm gonna put my screws back in place here so I can keep everything together. Alright, so I got that. Next up, I'm going to pull the hard drive. So there's the connector there. It's just a regular serial ATA connector. I believe there are 3 screws here. So this should come. Okay, so it's just the 2 screws. I didn't need to take the 3rd screw off. Let's go ahead and pull this other speaker right here. So again, it's just 2 screws. Looks like we've got 1 connector. We'll grab this guy, pull him up, just checking to make sure that I've got everything disconnected like it ought to be. So the cable goes up underneath the logic board there, so I had to unhook that. Seems like it's going to take quite a bit of force here to pull it down and past that housing. Okay, it's a tight fit right in here. Okay, so there we go. I fit really tight there. So here we can see a good look at the speakers. These are large response chambers, little bitty speakers here. Okay. So my wife tells me that this thing sounds really, really good. So with the size of these response chambers, I don't doubt it. One of the other things that I want to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and pull the cooling fan assembly out. I don't know if it's showing up in the video, but there's quite a bit of dust and stuff inside of here. Dust is a killer for computers. You want to make sure that you clean them infrequently. More frequently if you live in a house with dogs and carpet. I have both in my house. I'm not going to give up the dog. I love the dog. The carpet, that you can. That's your choice. But if you have it, just know that you're going to need to pay a little bit more attention to your computer and make sure that you keep everything clean. This is not the fault of us. It's just really after time. This is a 2012 model computer, so it's just time to get it all cleaned up. So we've got, looks like we've got an adhesive layer here. So we'll pull this back, and then I should have a cable. Yep, I got a cable right here on the logic board. So we'll pull that. Out that comes. Now look at there. There's all manner of dust and debris inside of there. See that? Yeah, this thing is due for a cleaning. So that'll help it perform better once we get it all straightened up. And then this, it's just a big cooler. All right, so let me see if I can mark these connections. All right. Don't you just hate it when your wife is right about something and you're pretty sure that you were right all along, and then it turns out, no, she was right. So she'd said, hey, you know, we've already upgraded the RAM of this machine. I'm like, no, you can't do that because it's all behind the thing. And I was pretty sure. So she says, no, I'm pretty sure there's a hatch. There's a hatch back there. Just take a look. I'm like, okay. So I came in here and I tipped it up. Yeah, there is a hatch right there in the back. Right where the RAM goes. Now, yeah, honey. You're right on that one. All right, so what I did was I went ahead and I grabbed some tape and a marker, and we're gonna go ahead and label these connectors here. Alrighty. Four. All right. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We got a label there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Now we're going to continue taking this thing up. So now that I got that, let's see what we're going to do. I think the next thing that I want to do is probably pull the power supply. Now you want to make sure that you've gone through and disabled the power supply. I did, I think. It should be okay, but I want to be really careful with it. Anyways, I'm going to unplug this guy here. Okay, so unplug that cable there. Four, and I suspect that we have some areas where, oh, that's a longer one there. That one's a longer one. There are more cables that are hooked up. Alright, so the two short ones go in the bottom, the two long ones go up top. So let's see if we can get this guy out of here. Okay, it looks like we've got a power cable here. so I had to dig my finger in up underneath it to grab a hold of the little catch that was in there. So I got that. All right, now I've got looks to be another cable here. Sorry, the view is really bad, but there's another cable there, and there's our power supply. And if we look, our power supply is pretty well coated in all kinds of crap. We'll put this guy off to the side and we'll clean him up a little bit later. In addition, I want to make sure that all of these capacitors have time to discharge. So put that guy off to the side. Alright, now all that we've got left is the logic board. Alrighty, so for this last screw, I've got my little automotive bit in here. Let's see what this thing does. Okay, well, I didn't get the screw out. It's sort of a security thing, it appears to be. Let's do this. Let's see if we can take this bracket off. This might free us up some room here. Wow, that appears to be kind of part of the mount there. Yeah, that's the mount. I don't know if we want to be taking that off. It's just that booger right there. Seems to be attached pretty hard and fast to that plate right there. Let me see if that's a standoff that we can take off. Because if it is, that'll make life a tremendous lot easier. Okay, so that's got that guy. Yep, that was it. So I'll tip this guy up here. We'll unplug our board. Alright, so basically I just unplugged our board here from right there. There it is. You can see the RAM slots here. That was crazy. I've taken lots of computers apart before, but that one takes the cake for sure. Believe, there it is. So this is the hidden screw here, right here. Not sure if you can see it, but there's a screw here that's captured, and that's more or less a security. It's not lined up perfectly with a hole, so you really have to work at it to get it out. So I'm thinking, I'm looking at this thing, and there are several things we can upgrade on this board. I'm looking here at this connector here. It looks like it's forward compatible. This is for a solid state hard drive on board, which is really, really cool. A lot of new computers have that for boot up. I don't know if I want to tear this further apart. I think what I want to do now is just clean it up. I'll look and see what it would take to get a solid state hard drive in here, and then also I am probably going to replace the CMOS battery just because it's so hard to get to it, and I want to make sure that we're saving saving everything we can. When I put this computer back together, I'm probably not going to want to pull it back apart because it's quite a process to get at everything. But hey, now that I've done it once, doing it a second time is pretty simple. So anyway, I'm going to look this guy up and see what we have. So yeah, I think probably in the next step I'll just take the vacuum cleaner and just start vacuuming the whole works up and just getting it cleaned up and getting it ready to reassemble. All right. Well, I hope this was informative, and thanks for watching my mayhem.